Brenda Lee's rise to fame was one of the most extraordinary stories in American music. As a child prodigy, her voice, powerful and filled with emotion beyond her years, captivated listeners across the country. At the tender age of 13, she was already making waves in the music industry, becoming one of the most recognizable voices in America. Her breakout song, I'm Sorry, marked a turning point, but it was her Christmas classic, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, recorded in 1958, that would go on to define her legacy. With its warmth and infectious rhythm, it became one of the most enduring holiday songs of all time. The song was released quietly, but its impact has echoed through generations, making Brenda Lee the oldest artist to ever top the Billboard Hot 100 at 79 years old in 2023. The early years, struggles and triumphs born. Brenda Mae Tarpley, on December 11, 1944, in Atlanta, Georgia, her early years were marked by hardship. Coming from a working-class family, Brenda's childhood was filled with instability. The family moved constantly due to her father's construction job, and life was often a struggle. Yet, amidst the chaos, one constant remained. Brenda's love for music, a battery-powered radio became her window to the world, and soon, her voice began to take shape. She was performing at local talent contests and on radio programs before she even reached her teenage years. By the time she was 9, Brenda was already being asked to sing in exchange for a few coins or candy. Her voice, mature beyond her years, had a power that captivated anyone who heard it. From local stages to national spotlight. In 1955, when Brenda was only 10, she made her first appearance on national television, singing Jambalaya before a live audience. It was an unscripted, impromptu performance, but it marked the beginning of a career that would take her to the top. Soon after, Brenda signed a contract with Ozark Jubilee, a country variety show, and began making regular appearances. Despite the early success, Brenda was still just a child, trying to navigate the adult world of entertainment. In 1956, she signed a recording contract with Decca Records, but it wasn't until the release of One Step at a Time in 1957 that the world truly began to take notice. The song crossed over into both pop and country charts, marking Brenda as a unique talent who could transcend genre boundaries. The strain of fame, Little Miss Dynamite. As Brenda Lee's fame grew, so did the pressure. Her nickname, Little Miss Dynamite, was meant to highlight her energetic stage presence, but it also placed unrealistic expectations on her as an artist. Brenda was expected to deliver explosive performances, and her schedule quickly became relentless. From recording sessions to television appearances, the young singer was constantly on the go, and the pressure of maintaining her image weighed heavily. She had become a professional artist before she had even fully grown into her teenage years. While her voice continued to develop and captivate, the rapid pace of her career took its toll. The expectations from the industry and her fans were unrelenting, and Brenda was forced to deliver constantly, with little room for self-discovery or growth. A shift to country and artistic evolution. By the late 1960s, Brenda Lee was no longer at the center of the pop music world. The British invasion and the changing tastes of the American public pushed her to the margins. However, rather than trying to recapture her past pop glory, Brenda found a new home in country music. The song, Johnny One Time, marked her return to the country charts, and she soon became a respected figure in the genre. By the 1970s, Brenda Lee had established herself as a country artist with hits like Nobody Wins and Sunday Sunrise, showcasing her maturity and emotional depth. No longer needing to prove herself to the pop world, Brenda could finally sing for the sake of artistry rather than for chart positions or popularity. A legacy defined by emotional depth. As the years passed, Brenda Lee's career took on a different rhythm. No longer driven by the pressures of commercial success, she embraced her place as a respected figure in country music. By the late 1970s, she was no longer attempting to make headlines, but instead focusing on building a lasting legacy through emotional, deeply personal music. Songs like Tell Me What It's Like in 1979 reflected a more introspective Brenda, one who had lived through the whirlwind of early fame and had come out the other side with a voice that resonated more deeply than ever before. Her legacy wasn't about chart-topping singles, it was about the enduring power of her voice, which continued to speak for generations of listeners. The power of a Christmas classic. In 1958, Brenda Lee recorded Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, a song that would go on to become one of the most iconic Christmas songs of all time. At the time of its release, it was just another holiday tune, but over the decades, it has grown into something much more. While Brenda Lee was no longer in the pop music spotlight, the song became a fixture of the Christmas season, playing on radio stations and in homes year after year. Its gentle, swinging rhythm and Brenda's effortless vocals make it a timeless classic. The song was eventually re-released, and by 2023, it reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making Brenda Lee the oldest artist to ever top the chart at the age of 79. It was a recognition of the song's enduring popularity, and it marked an unexpected but meaningful milestone in Brenda's long career. The quiet strength of Brenda Lee's legacy. Brenda Lee's career is one that defies easy categorization. She didn't follow trends or succumb to the pressures of a rapidly changing music industry. Instead, she adapted, shifting from pop to country without losing the emotional core of her voice. As the years passed, Brenda chose to step back from the spotlight, allowing her music to live on its own terms. Her later years were marked by a quiet withdrawal from the public eye as she focused on her family and personal life. Yet, even in silence, her legacy grew stronger, especially as her Christmas classic continued to dominate holiday playlists. Brenda's music, whether pop, country, or rockabilly, has stood the test of time, and her influence can be heard in the voices of artists who followed her. The enduring power of silence. One of the most striking aspects of Brenda Lee's life is her ability to remain relevant without the need for constant public appearances or image reinvention. While many artists from her era faded into obscurity, Brenda's music continued to speak for her. In 2008, a fire at Universal's archive destroyed many original master recordings, but it couldn't erase Brenda's impact. She had already made her mark on the music world, and her songs lived on, passed down through generations. In 2002, she released her autobiography, Miss Dynamite, a reflection of a life shaped by both the highs and lows of fame. It was an act of reclaiming her story, but not for the sake of publicity, simply to tell it her way, in her own time. A final act of reflection. By the late 2000s, Brenda Lee had retired from the stage, her public appearances becoming increasingly rare, yet her legacy remained intact. She was inducted into various halls of fame, including the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, not as a forgotten relic of another era, but as an enduring influence on American music. In 2009, she received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, acknowledging the full scope of her contributions to music. Today, Brenda Lee's legacy continues to resonate, her voice immortalized in classic songs that are played year after year. At nearly 80 years old, Brenda's music continues to find new listeners, proving that some voices never truly fade, no matter how quiet they may become.